Hello and welcome back to the Selfishly podcast. My name is Seb Corvey and here we are with the lockdown editions. On today's episode, we have a very special guest for episode 11. Her name is Ale Posada and I love her so much. I'm so excited for this podcast. We met 2 years ago on Kentucky in Europe, and since then we've talked heaps and we hung out. I went and visited her when I was over in America at the end of last year, her and Maddie, and it was the best time. I love them. I love Ali, and I'm so happy I got to have her on the podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff. It was pretty hectic in the best way, of course. We talk about what it's like in America right now during Corona and lockdown, talking about dating in lockdown, ASMR, Timotheé Chalamet, all these different bizarre things that are all amazing at the same time. I love it so much and I'm so excited to share it with you finally. Yeah, that's it, I suppose. Thank you and take it away, me. Serious lady in red, and you're just like,
yes, I'm like, hi.
Hey. Well, okay, so this is the Selfishly podcast. Hello, I'm Seb, and I'm here today with my lovely, beautiful friend, Ale Posada. I said it right, yes?
Yes.
How are you going?
I'm so excited. This is my first time being on a podcast. So I'm a wee bit nervous, but you know, we'll get through.
It's gonna be fun. Whenever I have done it with some people, afterwards I'll be like, oh, it was actually really fun. It felt like therapy, just like talking about stuff. And I was like, yes, that's all I want it to be, a relaxing time to talk about whatever.
Legitimately, talking is therapy. Like, I have my real therapist, but I have all of my friends for my free therapy. Like, I can only afford an hour with a professional.
Yeah, like, just saying, don't substitute actual therapy.
PSA, everybody. I cancel my appointment tomorrow. I'm like, I already talked to someone.
Yeah. So you like listen to lots of podcasts anyways, right?
Yes, I have been on like a podcast rampage since the Rona.
Yeah.
Because I am a loner in this quarantine. I love to be alone, but I still want to talk to people. So I don't like talk back to the podcast, but I listen to so many and I'm just like obsessed with people's like, I don't know, there's so many different kinds. Like there's like the gossip ones, there's like the mental health, you know, there's like murder mysteries, the whole shebang.
True crime ones, that's a rabbit hole in itself.
And then I get a little scared. I'm like,
oh my god, right, because you're in America and so many of these things happen there, and so watch out, girl.
Now, when I go on walks in the morning and I pass a trash can, I'm like, someone's dead.
Today's the day I'm gonna come across a body. Like it's that time.
And I would just leave. I would be like, fuck this. I'm not.
Well, it's like also when you go for walks, like not that I go for that many walks in the first place, but like if I'm ever walking out and I see like a garbage bag just like there where maybe it shouldn't be, I don't like want to go and open it up. I wouldn't want to touch it in the first place because I'd be like, oh, it's like garbage water. Like, why would I touch it? Let alone a body inside. But then I feel bad. But
right. I mean, I'm no investigator. If it's like, you know, I see a girl's boyfriend leaving with another girl, I'll go follow that. But like trash, I'm not feeling it.
And they always say don't touch the crime
scene.
So I mean, we're helping.
I'm like, I'm not guilty. I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. And I just haven't got one of those like extended arm like plastic things, you know, to like open
You're like,
let me
get my glove.
But we're already so off track. I'm so excited for
I know
what we're gonna talk about.
I was listening to some of your other ones and like reading your cute little bios, and I'm like, mine is just gonna be like, what the fuck? What happened?
Like no description, just listen.
Just like ... Listen at your own risk.
Oh, were you gonna say something? I thought you were like, hold on, I have a thought. I was like,
I was trying really hard not to swallow because I hate that noise. When I hear it on podcasts, I'm like, I know it's natural, but it like
very true.
Like,
I think honestly, that's one of the like helpful things as well about like listening to podcasts is being like, okay, I know what I don't like the sound of. Now I just have to try it and not do that. Like when people eat, I always wonder, like, how did you get to the point where you think it's okay to eat on a podcast?
I have heard so many different voices, sounds, noises on these podcasts that I was like, you know what? I think I'm like bored enough that I can just listen to some ASMR. I was wrong. That shit is so weird. They're like, and I was just disturbed, and I thought that someone would see my like Spotify listening history, and I was like, I need to get this off.
Just like quiet airplane ride, and the air hostess is handing out the dinner, and it's just like,
yeah,
you want this meal?
Pretzels.
Yeah.
The one that I clicked was like, there's a whole genre on Spotify called ASMR massage, and so obviously I'm intrigued, and I click it, and it's like scalp massage, and I'm like, okay, and then it's like, I'm touching your head, and it's like, no, like.
I literally feel like just talking about it is giving me a like. I don't think I'm not an ASMR guy. Are you? Yeah,
I'm not.
How do you feel at the end of it?
I felt very weird, and I also just feel like it's not supposed to be sexual, but it's so sexual.
Yes, literally. That's what it's like whispering is the sexiest form of talking, you know, like everything's kind of quiet. And then they're like trying to make sounds to make your skin like crawl all over you. Like, when else does that happen?
It was odd, I just know that it's like a very big thing, like a fetishized like thing. People make so much money on the YouTube being like,
it's like, and it's funny because when people do things for so long, they only ever have to try outdo themselves, and then they end up getting into this weird place of like I mean, because I've seen like people react or talk about like the weird ASMRs, and you wonder like which ones are like legitimate and like, yes, this is gonna be fun for them, or like if they're trying to be like fucky, you know what I mean?
I did hear one like years ago. It's on YouTube. It's called Virtual Barbershop or something, and if you listen to it with headphones on, that shit is wild because it's like snip snip snip. Like it sounds like you're in a fucking like a hair chair getting your hair cut, and honestly I was a little scared.
Just like Edward Scissorhands gonna pop out of
dude, I was like I'm waking up bald. I don't have hair anymore. Like, it's gone.
Like Scream. Have you seen Scream?
I have not. I don't fuck with that shit.
You don't like horror movies?
No. Because I will literally have nightmares if I watch something. Like I'm into like psychological thrillers, you know, like some creepy shit. I can't do the rom-coms right now. I'm not about love. But if I watch a like psychological thriller, I will dream about it, and then I'm just like, is that my life? Like,
well, they say that horror movies are a good thing for anxiety. Ironically, and like, yeah, I know it sounds so strange. In third year for my like final folio, I did like I looked into why we get scared and all this stuff, and I was looking at movies, and there's like a trend of how like the social time is reflected in media and stuff. Like, I mean, kind of obviously, but in terms of like horror, it was like, but I can't think of like the right example, which is so frustrating right now. But
no, but I know what you mean, really like. And it also just like forces you to like, cause you're fucking getting anxious.
Yeah.
Watching that scary shit, but then you overcome it. Like,
yeah. Cause you're also in like you're actually in a safe setting. Like nothing's actually going to happen to you. So there's that, like, your body is kind of tricked into being like, oh, I'm like experiencing this like primal instinct. Cause the folio was like, originally was looking at instinct and stuff, and so it was about how like what instincts do we have now that are kind of like obsolete because we live in the modern time, as opposed to like when we actually needed them, in like when you could go outside and like a tiger would attack you
before we had, and like before cell phones, and we're fucking getting in our wagon to fucking run away.
Yeah, literally, like this is like caveman instincts phase. Yeah, so it's like, what are these things that we have like no use for, like, but what are they? And and so I thought that was really interesting. And it's like, That's like my excuse for like, I love horror movies. No, it's not even an excuse. I'm just psychotic.
I like them if it's like bright and early in the morning, all the shades are open, like I am okay, I am safe. But if it's at night, like
but
there was a scary movie. What was it? The Conjuring. I don't even know if that's a horror movie.
Yes, it's a horror movie. It's terrifying.
I saw that with my boyfriend in high school, and I remember being so scared. We were both like grabbing onto each other, and when we left, like we had like bruise marks from just like
grabbing.
And I was horrified. And then, oh my God, A Quiet Place. I don't know.
So good.
I would die. I would be dead. I could not talk. I would be like, and boom, dead.
We can't handle ASMR. How are we going to handle life being completely quiet? No.
Yeah, no.
I'd be like, dead. What? I can't hear you. What?
And they'd be like, yeah. I would just be like, take me now. Like, I surrender.
Yeah. And like, I love quiet things, of course. But I mean, a lot of things I love to do are noisy, you know, like music's noisy. I like to just talk. Doing this, we couldn't do this. I'm sure there's someone, no, I've seen it. Someone do an ASMR podcast. And I could not, I'm pretty sure I was listening to, you know, like Jenna Marbles.
Yes.
She had a podcast with her boyfriend. Well, they still do, but she hasn't been on it. Anyways, yeah, they did, as like a joke, they did it all for like ASMR, and it was like over an hour, and I was like, I'm gonna skip this one. I'm not here for this.
See, the only, there are these videos of, I think it's like Desperate Housewives or Housewives of whatever city, and there is a fight scene. They're at dinner, and they're like arguing.
Yes, I already know which one you're talking about.
that ASMR is funny as hell when she's like,
it's like Lisa Rinna. Yes.
She's like, don't talk about my husband, and she's like, you're a beast.
Oh my God, yes.
Like,
so funny.
Yeah, that is something I could get behind. I could do that, but like the little I'm buttering toast, like I don't want to hear you buttering.
No, the scraping of the toast.
I'm triggered. No.
There was a time where people hated like the nails down the chalkboard, and now
they're like, oh yes.
Yeah. It's like some sort of like weird torture porn sort of thing. Like,
like, oh, you like to be punished.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Lord. Wow. So I wanted to originally just like start as like a place for us to catapult, because like we already talked about this and how we're just gonna stream of consciousness, just like talk and let it go. I just wanted to start with how we met and a little intro to that, just so for context and like and everything.
Yeah, chronological, if we will.
Yes, not just.
Oh my God.
Is this a random American girl from the internet I found?
Honestly, like people would be like, that makes sense. This bitch would do that. No, but oh my God, it's literally, wait, so it's been 2 years, right? 2020?
Yes. Yeah,
2018.
we would be there now.
Like there, literally there now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we were like rooming together at this very point with your cousin and
Gemma, Jess and Gemma.
Yeah. Was it Jess and Gemma and Maddie? Or was it, I think it may have been that other girl.
I'm not sure. I'm the worst at names.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. But it was a really cute room in France. I remember that.
Oh, we were in Nice, yes.
Yes. I remember, oh my God. Yes, okay, so we got Kentucky 2018.
Yes. How did you get onto it?
It's so wild. So before that Kentucky, I had literally I'd been on a plane like twice. And I had turned 21, and that was the year that I graduated from uni, college. You know, we're in America, and from college. And for my graduation present, my best friend / wife, Madison, our wonderful best friend, Maddie, she was like, we should go to Europe and just like go on a trip for your graduation. And I was like, there's no way I can afford that. And so she's like, no, I found this thing. It's called Kentucky. Like, you pay as you go, whatever. So I'm like, all right, fine. Like, let's do it. I get my passport. I'm like pumped. And then honestly, I was like, I cannot pay for this. And somehow we made it happen. Thank you. And and I literally remember like that whole summer we were just talking about how excited we were because I had never left, like I've gone to Mexico, like I have family in Mexico, but I'd never left the country, like North America, like the continent. So I was freaking out. And we went like a day early, went in Barcelona, and then met everybody the next day. And I was just like overwhelmed. I didn't even know it was going to be that many people.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever planned on doing something like that either because I kind of hate people. No, I don't. But I'm like such a loner. Like I'm super like introverted, extroverted, but I was overwhelmed. But then I was like, this is cool because it's people from like Australia, like other people from the US, like whatever. And yeah, I was like nervous at first.
So you hadn't traveled really?
Never.
Damn. That's exciting.
And especially with like friends.
Yeah.
Like I'd gone with like friends' families, like growing up, like, oh, do you want to come with my family, like here and here? And I'd be like, for sure. And growing up, my family really didn't travel. That just like wasn't something we did like as a family. And so when Maddie was like, let's go on this trip, I was like, let's go, girl. And honestly, because my parents are divorced, but like I'm really close with both of them still, and they were like terrified. They were like, oh my God, you're gonna go to Europe. And I'm like, it's fine. And it was gonna be for my birthday too. Like we were there over my birthday.
Yes, so true.
So fun.
Oh my gosh.
So fun. But yeah, I would totally do it again because I made you as a friend, Amanda and Courtney and Joe and Jess. And yeah.
Beautiful people. I know it was, and I suppose as well, like one of the kind of reassuring things about it was like an easier thing to go into as opposed to just like going and like not knowing, you know, like you know, like on your own.
Like as the first trip to Europe, that was completely like, I think it was perfect for me, and I would love to go. I would love to go back someday, like, and just plan it ourselves.
Yeah, and have some freedom with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember you and Maddie in either the lunch area, like cafeteria part, or the dinner part. I can't remember, but I feel like I remember seeing you there.
I just remember it. Okay, so we got there a night before. Yeah, we got there a night before and just like walked around Barcelona. We like went to the beach, whatever. And then the night before we were like all gonna meet, we like went downstairs, like just got so drunk with everyone that was like staying at the hotel that was there. And then they were like, yeah, if you pay like €5, you get a shot and we'll take you to the bars. And we were like, okay.
Yes,
and we met like a bunch of Argentinians, but we were like, where are the people from Argentiki?
And like Jess and I were so anxious. I remember we had gotten there and we were just like uncomfortable. And Jess was like anxious. She hadn't traveled like that before. And I was then like getting anxious as well. And we were just both like, oh my God, what is happening? Are we like going to be okay? It was just like this hectic mess. And this guy who was in the room with us was like, came at like 1 a.m. and he was like 30 and he snored so loud. And his alarm was on like 6 a.m, but he wasn't getting up. Anyways, it was like the strangest start to the Kentucky. But then when we got on the bus, it was obviously better. But it was like, that like, oh God, is it the right thing we're doing?
Yes, I had never stayed in, like I'd stayed in a hostel before in California, but it was with like, the hostel was just everyone I knew.
Yeah.
So when we got to the hostel and I was like, who is this girl in our fucking room? And Maddie was like, oh, that's just how it is here. And I was like, okay. And then like the shower, I was like, I just remember like you couldn't keep the shower on, you had to like press it. Water would come. And I'm like, press it. And I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, but it was I guess like a good little culture shock because obviously at home it's just like we have everything, like we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, first day was definitely a little sketch.
Yeah.
But then it got better because Marcos was just like so outgoing and I don't know, just like really sweet, made everybody feel like comfortable. And then he also forced us to socialize.
Yeah, like do those awful games. Like it's like that's always like that's what I hate about these sorts of things and like the school camps or whatever. It's like the awkward like getting to know you part or and they make it like I don't know, it just feels extra weird. It's like I just want to skip this until everyone's just like loose and
Drunk
like
or
drunk.
something.
Yeah, right.
Like, let's have this social like at the hotel, not in this like bus where we're all like hot and like, yeah, let's move around a million times.
Yeah,
No.
while the bus is moving, like safety. No.
But I do remember I was like, okay, this is fine because I want to see like who's cute. I would just be like hello,
You're just like,
hello.
this is speed dating. This is my
Yeah,
Euro trip, speed dating.
literally. And I remember there was like one super hot Australian guy, and I was like, and then he's like, yeah, my girlfriend's right behind us, and I was like,
Oh yes, I remember the couple.
the couple that just like stayed behind. They're like, we're just gonna stay here. We
Yes.
love it. I was like,
Oh my god, I felt bad for them though because they had to sleep in different rooms as well. Because it was like a girl and boy thing. Because I remember because I wanted to stay with Jess,
mm-hmm.
like because so we could both be like together. And they're like, oh no, we're only having they only have like the guys' dorms or the girl dorms, and the same thing happened with them. And you would be so like, especially being a couple, you'd be like, this is ridiculous.
I feel like if I was a couple, no, I don't know.
I would have to
like,
just get your own room. Well, I
right?
don't know. I suppose that's like you're already.
But then there's like Courtney and Joe. Courtney and Joe were like perfect, and Amanda was there too. So Courtney had someone to like, I don't know.
Yeah,
they're also just like the most perfect little angels.
Oh my gosh.
Love.
Oh, I can't believe it's been 2 years.
It doesn't feel like it, and it upsets me slightly that none of us are traveling internationally, but
well,
COVID.
Yeah. This is like, well, we were originally going to go to Mexico. Remember when that was going to happen? And then I remember being literally one click away. I was so close. I was like, Mom, let's buy the tickets today, like the plane tickets. And I was like, I remember talking to you guys, and then stuff was coming out about Corona, and Mom was like, oh, is it a good idea? I was like, oh, I'm not sure anymore. And then it just like went kaput.
Then it was like, no.
Yeah, it was like, no, thank God you didn't even.
It would have been the most iconic trip because we had such a beautiful place to stay, and you would have gotten to meet Chloe, our other crazy, amazing friend. And it would have just been like, we would have terrorized the city of Puerto Vallarta.
Oh my gosh, I cannot even imagine. It would have been so much fun.
Yeah, it's probably safer we didn't.
Oh, damn. But hey, we can still go one day.
No, we should, as soon as it's safe, we should plan. Like, Maddie and I are literally talking about, like, how can we get to Bali? Like, I was looking at flights yesterday. It's like 40 hours away, but...
Yeah. It's probably easy to just get to, like, Melbourne, and then we would go from here, you know what I mean? Or we can just meet in Hawaii, I was thinking, because no offense, but America's kind of fucked at the moment.
Dude,
but they're not letting you guys like out. Well, not letting you out, but like a lot of places aren't
letting us in.
Letting you in, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder how long that. I suppose we won't. Will that just like happen until there's like a vaccine or things are under control? I mean, I don't know.
I have so many things to say. I honestly have no idea when they're going to let us into other countries. Our president, it pains me to say those words because I can't believe that's even still a thing. But, like, he's an idiot. So they just assume that a lot of Americans are idiots.
But you could say that about anyone. It's just, at the moment, it's like...
We're just the worst right now.
I think it's all... I mean, coming from an outside perspective, I think Americans don't realize how much American news is in everyone else's news. Does that make sense?
Yes, when we were FaceTiming and your mom said hi and she was like, "Oh my God, your country right now." I had no perception of how like I always knew that people thought Americans were just kind of like, you know, and then hearing that you guys are worried worried for us and you're like, "Oh my God," was petrifying. I was like, "Good Lord, not only are we living through this, but all of our friends that are international are like." It's like watching a car accident. You just can't look away.
Well, I mean, kind of, yeah. But also, it's just like, even if we wanted to look away, it's just like getting thrown at us. Just because, and it's not like you're saying, like, it's not that everyone thinks all American. Well, at least I hope, because that's like, everyone can generalize about anyone in that sense. But it's like, there are obviously people doing the right thing and being appropriate. But there's just the loud minority of people who are the ones most obnoxious about it, that are, like taking the spotlight away. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, the loudest ones are the ones that are heard like, I need a haircut. Yeah. Okay, people are dying, Karen.
Yeah, literally, people have been dying. It's pretty
They're like,
crazy.
I can't go to the movies. And I'm like, you can breathe.
Literally, there's there was this lady here in Melbourne, because we have like 4,500 cases here, and like the other states have like 10 to 5. It's fucked. We're fucked. Anyways, and so now it's like mandatory masks. Like, everyone has, if you're outside, you have to be wearing a mask. And mostly everyone has been. Like, the times I have gone out, like, everyone is wearing a mask. But there's like some people who just like don't. And there was like a video that went viral of this lady in Bunnings who wasn't wearing a mask and was being like, "It's my right to like be in this place and do all these things," like the usual thing they're saying. And it's like, you don't understand that it's not about you. And if you think like that you having to wear a mask is this big breach of your rights, then like, what did you have to say about the people who are like locked in their houses, weren't allowed to leave in a moment's notice? Like, you had 4 days to organize a mask or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like this like selfishness. I remember seeing these videos of like people going to like a council meeting and like speaking their opinions about like wearing masks and stuff. And this one lady was being like, "What are we going to do when the next generation can't communicate without a face mask, or only by Zoom or on the phone? They can't play sports or do anything." And I was just like, that is such a crazy like jump to make. But then I was like, but I am losing the ability to communicate. So maybe she was right.
I heard okay, maybe I'm trying so hard to stop using the word crazy, because it's just such a bad umbrella word. But this crazy bitch was like, God doesn't need a mask. God isn't wearing a mask. Like, just going on at this council meeting, and everybody's like,
what?
And she's like, only God can save us. Like, might as well not wear a mask. And it's like, I hope you get the virus. Like,
God put the idea of a mask inside someone's mind to make. It is a gift from God that we have masks that work and actually stop the spread of the disease as much as it actually does. It's just like reduced tenfold. It's crazy.
Exponentially. And it's really not that bad. Like, I have severe asthma, and everybody that's like, it's so hard to breathe when I wear my mask. I'm like, I wear my mask and it's fine. And also, you can get cute ones. Like, it's a fashion statement now. And also, now I can just breathe with my mouth open all the time. I'm just like,
I've been out in public chewing gum so obnoxiously, but no one can tell. It's like,
if you see hot people and you're just like they never know. I got a tattoo recently. Yeah, okay. I know that's like,
oops.
but they were very sanitary. But all of the tattoo artists were gorgeous, like these beautiful specimen, and I was just behind my mask, literally like,
just like grinning at them and just.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so thankful they can't see my fucking face, because I'm just objectifying them all. But I was like, at the grocery store, I'd be like, I'm smiling, I hope you know. And they're just like, They're just like, they're like, fuck this bitch. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry you have to be at work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
Circle back.
Yes, circle back. So what's it like in America right now? Just for like, I mean, from your point of view and like where you are, and not even like, you don't even have to like get super like political about it unless you want to. I just mean like,
Just how is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just a little timeline, a little backstory. So obviously all the news started coming out like January, February. And at that point it was like, we're fine. It's not coming to the US. There's no way that this kind of virus could come to the US. That was like my mentality. And honestly, I'm pretty sure everyone around me's mentality. So my friends and I had a trip planned to Hawaii for March. And we were like, we're going, it's fine. There's no corona. And literally the week that we returned from Hawaii, it blew up. Like, it was in the US. It was all over the world. It was infecting everyone and their mother. Like, Italy was not okay.
Yeah.
And I just remember I had to go back. It was like, I think it was like the 7th of March. I'm not sure what the date was. And I just had like a really sore throat, did not feel well. And I was like, oh my God, like I got it at the airport. So I called my boss and I was like, hey, I know that I was just traveling and I'm not really feeling well. I don't think it's safe for me to come to work. Like, I'm going to stay home in quarantine. And everybody was like, stay home. Like, you have asthma. We don't want you to die. It was like very scary. So from March to May, like to the end of May, I was strict quarantine. Like, I wasn't leaving my house. I was getting my groceries delivered. And it seemed like, from my perspective, it seemed like people were like listening. Like I'm in Arizona. It seemed like my city was like doing their part, and I don't know, like it was going away. So I was working from home. I was like super blessed. So I was in this sheltered mindset of like, it's okay. Like, it's fucked up right now. We're all working from home. Like, it's going to go away. We just have to do our part. Nope. I had so many friends that were still like having to go to work, like servers, just like essential workers, like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, if all these people are still going to work, like, it's not safe, right? Like, people are still, so then it just started to feel really, I guess, just like shitty, like scary and shitty, because it's like our government just doesn't care about us because everyone is still working. like why, it was obvious, like, why isn't everything shut down?
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then, just being a dumb idiot like I am, I started going out again. Like, I was going to the grocery store again. I was seeing friends. I was going to dinner. And I realized that absolutely nothing had changed. Like, people were still going to the bars, going swimming, going X and X places. And we didn't have mask mandates for I think the summer was when the mask mandates came about. And yeah, I mean, I guess like we did get like stimulus checks, and like unemployment has been better for people, but I think at the risk of sounding like like a hater, our fucking president is just an idiot. Like, he literally went on the news and said that we should drink bleach and that it would kill coronavirus. So, and then you see other countries that are like, I just was under this, I did not grow up in a sheltered home. Like, my parents were always very honest about like what's going on in the world. Like, you know, here's this. And so it was never like, oh, the world is perfect. Like, yeah. But I lived under the ruse of like, the US is perfect. Like, the US is so established, like clean water, great health, like all this shit. And then I just realized like, oh my God, our country is literally like, I'm not saying like I'm blessed to live here. I know there's tons of opportunity and I'm thankful, whatever. but I'm not like proud to be an American in this time. It's like so many people are dying. There's like a positive correlation with like how negatively this is affecting like the poor communities and yeah. So it's not good.
No.
Not good here. And the media. I don't know what to believe. Like I had to stop reading. I had a New York Times subscription, like, and I had like a COVID subscription, and I was like, I gotta take a break. Like, so many people, like, there are doctors going on their Instagrams and YouTubes being like, it's really not that bad, and then there's like the Times, and it's just
For me, looking at it as like an outsider, I'm like, no wonder America is kind of having the reaction it's having to the virus, because when the person who's meant to be like knows what's happening, you know, like they're just like the leader. They're meant to be the leader, but there's no leadership qualities in it from him. And so it's like, because I mean, if your government, like, let's look at New Zealand, like their prime minister was like on it in 2 seconds. They went into like hard lockdown straight away. And I mean, of course, like New Zealand compared to America is completely different. Like the amount of land, the population density, all that stuff. Obviously it's very different. But in terms of like, they went into full lockdown, like McDonald's and all that wasn't even open. You couldn't like leave the house, but then they don't have the virus there and they can reopen and go back to normal. And it's like, la. With that example, it's like, oh, okay, there we are. But Trump is giving no example other than this isn't something you need to worry about. Just pretend it's not happening. He literally said, if we don't do tests, we don't know how many people have it, and then it's gone. So it's fine. It's like, where's this logic?
The worst part is that, yes, like he is the president. He's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like a trickle down effect. Like he finds out stuff, he tells us. Like that's how leadership goes, right? And we're like his constituents. So the intelligent people obviously know that he's full of shit. And then there's all of the people who are like devout Trump supporters that just believe everything he says. And that's a lot of people. Like there are so many Trump supporters among us. I have good friends that I found out were Trump supporters, and it honestly like disturbs me.
Did they say like why? Because
that's the thing.
Or do they not want to say why?
It's not something that
you talk about.
We talk about because I feel like it's known that I'm extremely liberal. Like I'm just like, let's change, like progressive, like everything is fucked. We should change it. Yeah. But yeah, like the people that I am aware that are like, I dated a guy who was a Trump supporter and we never spoke about it. Like I would ask and it's always because like, I feel like they know that the reasons that they support him are just like bullshit.
He's fucked.
He's probably a child sex trafficker. Like,
well, yeah, literally just
like
saying.
Wayfair. He's probably selling kids on Wayfair.
That Maxwell lady, he just says, hope she's doing well, but doesn't say anything about any of the victims. And he says he knows nothing about Prince Andrews, but literally like 4 or 5 years ago. But he was in an interview on like a red carpet or something, and they asked him about Epstein or something, and he said they should look into that island, dirty stuff on that island. Maybe they should ask Prince Andrew. I'm sure he knows. He literally says it, and it's on camera in film. And then now, like the other day, he's like, I know nothing about anything. I'm completely like, I hope she's good. Like, how ignorant could you be that the second most like notorious person involved in the Epstein stuff, like this lady who could be just like the, you know, like the main rooter for all the children, for the young girls.
And I'm just see, that's the other thing. I'm a big like conspiracy theorist because it's just fun to like pick apart things in like the crazy way of like, oh, maybe this is why. And I'm worried that she's just going to get like offed. Like she's going to commit suicide. Not that suicide is a joke. I'm not saying that at all. But like Jeffrey Epstein did not commit suicide.
Yeah. No.
Like,
yes.
And also it's just like I've been seeing obviously stuff about the Wayfair like child sex trafficking things, and people pointed out that it came out right after Ghislaine Maxwell like got taken in, and it's like, does she know about that shit? Like, because she's probably singing like a bird. She's like, I don't want to get arrested.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, she can get. Well, apparently they were offering Epstein a like a deal that was like a good one if he was, because he was ready apparently to just like spill the beans. And so if they can give her the same thing,
Yeah.
and then like, I mean, of course you fucking would. Otherwise, she's gonna spend the rest of her life in prison. Which, I mean, she should.
She should suffer.
But if it's like, if there's like a key to get the whole
other
of them,
people,
fucking, sometimes you gotta do. But it's like, fuck to have to talk. Like, it's fuck that it's a thing that we're talking about. Like,
it is. I don't understand why people murder people, or it's all doesn't make sense. But like, don't fuck with kids. Just don't, like.
You know what it is though? I think it honestly all comes back to money. Like, in the end, it's just like money. Like, when you think of why people do like these bad things or whatever, like, you can most likely come back to, oh, they're gonna financially gain in some way from this, because it's like I mean, let's look at all the stuff with like the school shootings and like the NRA and being like, we need guns to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government, and now there's like the government's acting tyrannical in like Portland and everything, with the protests and like the unmarked cars like taking protesters away and shit. Like, that's literally the thing they said they were gonna stop happen, and they're like, no, it's fine, they're in their right to do that. Like,
and I'm not a gun person, if you're gonna go hunting, which I think is also fucked up, honestly, but like, if you have like, some guns, whatever, still freaks me out. But like, why do we have so many semi-automatic weapons? Why? Like, I could go to Walmart, right? I could literally keep on this fucking podcast right now and go buy a gun.
It's so
like,
wild.
America and guns is so weird. I had one of my very good friends went on a date recently and thought the guy was kind of like, not sketch, but she was like, I feel like this guy's a Trump supporter. And so she was going to ask him. And like, anyway, long story short, he randomly is like, how do you feel about guns? She's like, they freak me out. Like, this man pulls out guns, like literally like unloads it, but like pulls out a gun. And she's like, wants to leave. And then he's like, hold on, comes back with like a fucking rifle, like literally like a semi-automatic rifle. And he goes, these are the ones they used in the Las Vegas shooting.
What the fuck?
And I was like, you need to get out of there. Like, and she was like, I left her so quickly after. And the next day he texted her, are you alive? It's like, sir.
Oh my God.
Oh, and he was a Trump supporter.
I mean, I assume.
But
what? That's
so, and he's just like a young white male.
But why does he need one of those?
He was house sitting. He has to protect himself in case like intruders and whatnot. Yeah, so it was just the most bizarre thing I've ever heard, and I just had to share that because it's not even my story to tell, but that is literally America to a T. Like, guns and fucking...
That's crazy.
And it's like, in Australia, you can't just go buy a gun, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think you can get a license for hunting.
Yeah, okay.
But but it's not like a thing you can just like go down, because I'm pretty sure they do their background checks and everything. Like, you can't just go down the street and buy one.
Yeah, because you guys haven't had you haven't had a mass shooting in like how many years?
I think it was in 1989 or 1999. We had a massacre in Port Arthur. A guy, like, there's lots of true crime podcasts about it. It's really interesting. He went to this it was essentially like a public history like area.
Okay.
Like there would be like a cafe, or maybe I can't exact.
Like a museum?
Arthur, so, yeah, it was like a museum. There was like a little bit outside stuff.
Like a site, a public history site.
Yeah. I don't even know what I was trying to say.
You're like, a thing.
Yeah, but he went to one of those and like just shot it up, and then they outlawed it and everything, and we haven't had a problem since. I was actually talking to someone about this recently. They were saying like, why can't they just ban them like we did? And I was saying the only like, because the context of guns is like really different in America and Australia, or even just America on its own in general, was built into like original foundation of it, where it's like in Australia we haven't got a thing that's like you have the right to all your guns and all this stuff, you know what I mean? So I get in that sense it's different, but when this like continuous school shootings, and like I was talking to mum and dad about this the other day, I was like, I would be horrified even thinking that it could be possible like now, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't even know.
Well, yeah, like, did you have to do like lockdown drills when you were growing up in school?
We had like, if someone like, if a random person was going to come
Right.
on, but like that was the extent.
And now they have to do fucking, like, I had to do an active shooter training, like, and it was the most terrifying thing.
That literally sounds traumatizing, even as a like precaution, like as a, like you said, as a simulation, like terrifying.
And it was like they were teaching us like, oh, you know, like if they have a gun, like just try not to get shot. Like, what the fuck?
What? And that's like what you're telling children.
That, yeah, and it's just, yeah, like, so in a nutshell, the America is the, yeah, it's crazy too because we have like, we're supposedly one of the most like developed countries, you know, like we're huge. There's so many people in the United States, and we have done a lot of good things. Like, I'm not going to discredit everything, but it's just like so hard to not focus on all the shit that is so fucked up. And yeah, so
well,
it's just,
I think especially because it's this weird time where you have people, we like kind of have that hindsight of like, or not even maybe not hindsight, I don't know what the word is, maybe like the foresight, or just like the, we now have like the new knowledge that these things aren't right, we, you know, like we're, but at the same time there's like a percentage of people who want it to stay the same way. So that's where you get this like gap of like, we could be so much better than we are, but then there's people stuck in the rut of,
it's like,
I don't know.
it's so split. Yeah, there's the people who are like, no, we need to change this, this is wrong, and then there's people that are like, is it like,
I'm fine, we don't need to change it.
and the other thing too is like, yeah, if they outlawed guns, like great, whatever, but it's like, what about all the guns that are out there? How do you, it'd have to be like the fucking Hunger Games, like,
and, and the ones people have that aren't even like licensed proper ones, like I was actually surprised at the amount of guns people had that weren't registered or anything. They just like had,
people have that shit, like, they'll just be like, oh yeah, like I bought this like AK whatever, and I'm just like, and the other thing is, I've shot a gun once, and it was like in the boonies, like in the mountains, like shooting those little discs, like, you know,
like the clay
like
thing.
supervised, yeah, whatever. And I was like, this isn't horrible, but I'm still scared. Like, someone could get hurt. I could get hurt. And I've always said, like, I need to go to a shooting range just to like do it so that I can see if like, even in a controlled, like supposedly safe environment, like I feel like I would still be scared.
Yeah.
Just because I don't need to shoot a gun. Like, if there's an intruder, fuck, please don't kill me.
Yeah, oh my
But
god.
like, I'm not gonna kill you. Like, I'm not gonna shoot a fucking intruder in my house. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a very, yeah, it's just something I would need to dive into, like, and look up some like factual, like, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere once that there was like a mass shooting in the US like once every, like there was like, for how many there were in the year that it was naming, it was like one per day.
That's wild.
Like,
it's like, I don't even know.
there's no
word
words.
escapeless. Yeah.
And it can be talked about and like danced around and just like bang bang.
And like it's so weird that just like one last thing about like the AK people. I always hear people their justification is like hunting with them, and I'm like, if you're like hunting is like, it's like weird to say. It's not like the most popular opinion, but I can understand people who actually hunt, like in Colorado, like who go out and they like they like know how to track an animal and like how to kill it in the quickest, painless way for the animal.
And then they eat it.
You know, and they eat all of it. Like, and it's for their family for like like, I get that because that's like supernatural. I remember my sister was complaining about meat as we were eating Macca's, and I was like, well, the hunter probably knows where his meat exactly is from, and we're just like, you know what I mean? We're just eating. Who knows what the fuck we're eating? But
yeah.
But an AK 47, 27, 47, I think they're called.
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
How is that hunting? It's like, what, you're gonna like spray the 50 meters of forest hoping to kill an animal? Like, that's not hunting. That's just,
it's just like
casual murder of animals.
Literally, it's unnecessary. Yeah, one shot, done. Like, you don't need to do anymore. But no, they like let it rain. Like,
that's wild.
Yeah.
So I suppose in summary, America's going through a crazy fuck time at the moment, but hopefully it all ends up getting to a place where things get better as opposed to staying where they are.
Yes, I think it will. I think everything will get better. Just not yet. You know, so I'm just happy to be safe in my home. Like, again, I know that's not the case for most people, and like, I'm happy to have a job. It's not so fucking bad, but it's still fucking bad, you know. Yeah,
it's a pretty hectic time, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, who would have ever thought we'd be here? You know, like this is what the world would be like.
I have been I've been grieving, you know, I've been learning a lot about like, it's okay to grieve the plans that we had.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to Spain anymore for school. But you know what? It's horrible. But at the same time, it's like, it's okay because I'm sure that there will be other opportunities, and like, you know, the universe had a plan. I'm hoping, like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And then I think about all the people who like obviously are dying, and then it's like, oh, but there's the people that are missing their weddings, and then it's like people are dying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
but on a super positive note, I think it's really nice to look at it like from a different perspective of, we're never going to get this time to just like be at home and like reflect and read and be bored. Like, when was the last time we really bored and bitching about like, I'm so bored, there's nothing to do. So yeah, but yeah, wow. I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna just flush out that negativity.
Let's take it down a notch. Let's find a relaxing spot and just get cozy, you know.
Right. We're like, we're not gonna get political. Fuck. That's political. It's okay. We're gonna move on to love now. Now I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna circle it back. We're gonna talk about dating in the time of Rona.
Oh my gosh, been trying to date.
No, I haven't.
You haven't been? Okay.
But I think it's interesting. Like, what is your position on this? Obviously, it's not a good time to date. Am I right?
I don't.
Unless you're.
I mean, well, I mean, if you're, it depends what you're doing to get there, I suppose. Like, don't think it is, because I like to like meet up.
Go on dates.
And
yes.
Go on dates, as opposed to like talking for hours about nothing. And like, I'm not even really into like casual fun with randoms anymore, you know? Like, it's so much, I had my turn at that. I'm done now. I'm old. I'm tired.
No, we want real love, real organic love.
You want communication, and someone who's a normal person, and that's all.
Not a serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've just found it interesting because I know that like I see all these little things that are like, oh yeah, dating apps usage has gone up, all this stuff, and I'm like, really? Like I'm
Well, I know.
definitely
Well, like
yeah.
Tinder added a video chat thing now. But in saying that, that sounds awful to me. I remember one time I was on an app and someone was like, "Hey, can I call you?" And I was like, "No, I'm never talking to you ever again." Maybe
That's like chat roulette for dating.
yeah, like
That doesn't sound
I'd go on Omegle and chat roulette for lols, but not to like find a potential like the way dating apps go already. You'd like go to video chat thinking they're just like somewhere normal, and then it's just nudity, you know?
I respect anybody that can do online dating. I totally respect it. I just personally can't. It's just not my thing because I can't talk to people like over the phone. Like I need to like read you in person and like see if like there's even a vibe. And so I'm thriving right now. I love this not dating. I am obsessed with being single and isolated.
Yes.
It's fine. We're good.
Exactly. There's no rush, you know. There's plenty of time to find a man for you. And like you were saying before, when are we ever going to have this perfect excuse of a time to not be doing anything?
I love blaming, oh, I can't do this because of the quarantine. I'm never leaving my house again. And I feel like
it's like, Ali, there's been a vaccine for 2 years. And you're like, guys, I still don't know. It might be out there.
Literally, like I just am, I don't know. I feel like I'm exhausted from the last like 3 years of just like working 2 jobs, going out all the time. Like I am just enjoying the repose and the rest. Like I have the cleanest room of my life. I'm always in here. Like I have organized my shelf like 3 different ways. I've moved my room around. Like it's crazy. And I'm just like doing therapy every week. So I'm just like trying to heal. Yes. But honestly, go ahead. Please go.
I was just going to say, it's like RuPaul says, you can't love yourself. How are you going to love anybody else? I'm going to be the best version of myself for someone, you know, for myself and then for someone.
I literally realized like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like myself, but there are things that I've like avoided for literally my whole life that I need to work on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, how was I ever trying to date when I can't even deal with myself? Like I get annoyed at myself. And it's crazy. And so now I'm trying to like I'm, oh my God, I'm sober. I'm not drinking or anything. I've been sober for like 2 months.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
I know. And it's been like fine. It honestly hasn't been that hard because I'm not going anywhere. Like I think if I have to like go to dinner or like to a party, it will be a little bit harder, but like I'm just trying it for now.
Yeah.
And but other things that I'm working on, like, oh, I'm trying to like heal from my relationships trauma from whatever. I just get so annoyed at everything now, and I'm just like, wow, when did I become this person? But it's like, oh, this is the healing. This is me getting better. Like, I love my therapist. She's like, love her. She's the best. I see her literally every week, like over Zoom, which is a little weird, but it's fine. But I mean, it's good. I'm just realizing that I'm like a lot tougher than I think. Like I don't give myself enough credit.
Yeah.
And honestly, just that like things are like, you know, when you just like, okay, like you had a relationship, you broke up, and then your memory just gets like warped. Like I feel like after a breakup personally, all I can remember is like the happy times, like the like 3 great moments out of like 5 years. And it's just like, no, they were shit.
Yeah.
They like, and also like just realizing that all the things I think were like love is just like attachment, like pure attachment. Like it was not. So that's been kind of fun though, because it's like investigating and just like understanding shit that I had no idea about. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of reflection.
Yes. Well, it's interesting, like you're saying, it's like, it's totally like having like a rose tinted glasses moment with those things, you know, like, and then that's why I always like got into this habit of trying to remember how I feel in the moment, or not necessarily in the moment, or like leading up to why the decisions that were made, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's, I try to remember that in the back of my mind, then it's easier to like not fall back into that, you know, like, oh no, but
Yeah.
everything was really lovely. But it's like, no, but do you remember what happened to why you got to where you are and had to do it all? And it's like, oh yeah, I fucking remember now. Fuck you. And like, not even
Exactly.
just like relationships in general, you know, with like,
Yeah, friendships that have ended, like work relationships, love, all that shit. And it's just crazy because like everything does happen for a reason. I firmly believe that. Like, I think everything falls into place when it's supposed to. But oh god, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, but it's a bitch. Like, life is a beautiful bitch. Like, I yeah, it's just a lot. And it's like, I want to get to a point in my life where I don't like hate any of my exes. I just want to be like,
yeah,
peace, love,
yeah,
but like not for me. But I'm just not there.
yeah. That's okay.
And I just, yeah, but it's okay because you know what? We live, we learn.
Yeah, it's a process.
And not all experiences are bad. Like, definitely have dated some great guys.
Yeah, it's also like, it's not easy either, you know, like actually sitting down, luckily, thankfully, like this weird area of like, we're removed from all like the usual life jargon of like, oh, these bills, not bills is always the example, but you know how there's just like, everything's always moving and there's like no time to think. That's why I feel like everyone's really political as well at the moment, because there's actually time to participate as opposed to just being overwhelmed from everything.
Yes.
But it takes time to like sit there and figure it out, like how you feel, because for me at least it takes a while, because I'm like trying to uncover it, and it's not as straightforward as like, oh, I remember this happened, oh well, that was a bad time, well, I'm mad about it. It's like it's trying to like put more perspective around it. Does that, I don't know.
Yes, no, because it's like in the past, I'm just like super avoidant. I hate it. I like avoid. That's America for you, though. It's like avoid your pain, numb your pain. No, and I literally realized, like, I would say in like end of May, that I was just like, I thought that I had healed. I was like, ooh, no. I was just avoiding. I was just compartmentalizing everything. Like, put it in this box, never look at it, and now it's like, oh, I can just like sit with, like, I was listening to this podcast and it was like, you can grieve like the potential of like what that relationship could have been. And I'm like, oh, so it's okay. Like, I'm not like crying about it. I'm not like, but it's like, it's some shit that I think about often. And I'm just like recognizing it and like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that person anymore. But yeah.
Yeah. that's a
But if they ever hear this, fuck you. I'm just kidding. But no, I wish them well. I wish all of my whatever.
It's like that Ariana Grande song, like, thank you, but
thank you next. Yeah, and it's funny because like they're the exes that like I feel no. Okay, I sound like I have so many fucking boyfriends. I have like 2. But then there's the ex that I'm just like completely peacefully over and like wish him no ill will. Like, he sent me hateful emails, but like,
damn.
You're not affecting me. Like, I hope you feel better. Literally the subject line was fuck you.
Oh, damn. In an email.
And
weirdly like
to my work email. And literally
like you're definitely gonna see this. Like, that's crazy or something. Like,
I saw it on a Monday morning and I was like, and the last sentence was, you're still kind of hot. I was like, excuse me? Kind of?
Who do you think you're talking to, mister?
I was shook. But then literally over the quarantine, went to get takeout with Maddie and our other roommate, Sam. And we like pull up. Who's there?
Oh my God.
He's there. Who texts me? He does. And he was blocked, but I had just gotten a new phone. Little life hack, you have to re-block every single person that you had blocked on your other phone. Like, why is it not automatic?
Yeah.
I don't want you texting me. Like, no, nothing bad. Like, not blocking you because I hate you, but just like, I don't need to see your messages. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, so those are just funny little things.
Oh my gosh! Wow, an email though.
Two hateful emails, and I literally had to call IT. I was like, how do I block someone on email? And they were like, what? And I was like, like, I need help. And then they were like, okay, like, they like take over your computer, so they're like on the phone with you, but they're like on your computer. Yeah. And they're seeing these emails, and they're just like, what? It literally said like, if you were on fire, I wouldn't like.
What the fuck? What? Do you mind me asking why he felt so passionate? Like, did it end badly or something?
Okay. Oh, this is so funny.
Here we go.
So we like dated. We were never official. Like, he never wanted to be my boyfriend. It was so fucking annoying. But we dated for like 2 years, and it was like fine. Yeah. My God. But he moved. He was gonna move, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. Like, we should break up. I don't want to do long distance. Like, it's just not smart. And it was like good terms, peaceful. And then he moved back, and was like, I'm back. Let's get back together. And I was like, no, because like, I'm sorry. Like, I was at peace. Like, it was like just the next chapter. Like, it was gonna just be done, and like, and then I think. I don't know. I don't really remember exactly. I don't want to say something wrong, but I think it was just like he was upset, you know. And obviously he was drunk when the emails were sent. Like they were like run on
Monday morning. Oh no,
yeah, I read it Monday morning. I think he sent it at like Saturday at like 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
But yeah, and it just like, I was honest though. I was like, listen, you're like real. Cause we like, you know, when you break up with someone and you kind of still like chat here and there after, cause like it's hard.
Yeah.
But I finally was just like, honestly crying. And I was like, listen, we cannot talk anymore. This is like really bad. And it's just like reopening wounds, like gotta not talk. And then all that shit happened. And I was just like, and he was like still sending me things in the mail.
Like what?
Like little gifts, like things that would be sweet if you were dating.
Is this after or before the emails?
Before. like that record player.
He sent you the record player.
Some records. An envelope. No, I don't want to expose this person.
I don't know.
He's never gonna hear it. He's never gonna hear it. No, it's fine. He's never gonna hear it. And just like an envelope full of like sweet notes on Post-its, like literally like this many Post-its.
What?
And I feel so bad because like I do not lead people on. I think that is so mean.
Yeah. Like
I don't ever want to be led on. It's really easy not to lead people on. And I was just like, oh my God, this is sad. Like if I liked him, this would be so sweet. But I was just over it. And it's weird because I'm not usually the kind of person that gets over things quickly. And I was just like, okay, like healed.
Yeah.
So it's just weird how like they're so different. Like one is like,
yeah.
And the other one's like chill. Like if I saw him, like I would, if he needed help, like I would help him. But like.
But at the same time, don't ask me. Yeah.
But like lose my number.
Yeah. That's so, I feel like, I mean, that's pretty ballsy to send you things. Like, I feel like I would never.
I will say, like, I do think I played my part in the fact that we were still, like, chatting.
Yeah. So did you, like, know he was going to send things, or did...
No, I didn't know. Like, they would show up, and Maddie would be like, you got a giant package. And I'd just be like, what the fuck? And then I'd open it and just be like... And Maddie had some colorful things to say. She would be so funny about it. And I would just be like, but I mean, I don't know. It wasn't all bad. I'll give it that. And then there's like the guys that I'll go on like one date with that are just like amazing, and then they fucking, it's just
go on.
Yeah, everyone I like just like moves away, like to another city, and I'm just like, I can't just hop on a plane. Also, that'd be weird because they didn't invite me. So
just turn up there, you're like,
hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Like, yeah.
Oh
so no love in the time of Corona, but good time to reflect on. That was just my moral of the story. It's like, I've been super thankful for this time to like deal with my shit.
Yeah. Well, there's so much time. And there's so much shit. No, I'm kidding.
I need like 3 quarantines. Oh my god.
I know, secretly I was like, thank God we're going back into lockdown, because I remember at the end I was like, I don't want to go back out because I need some more time, let's be real.
We reopened, like my university is reopening, bad idea, like in like phases, and my boss has been like super wonderful, like supportive, like we're allowed to work from home because it's like completely doable. Amazing. And she was like, do you guys want to go back to the office? Like, and everybody's like, no, what the fuck? But we have like designated days where we can go back, and I'm just like, I'm going back.
I was saying this with my friend, I feel like on the podcast I had this personal crusade about like 9 to 5 and like living to work, and this is making me hopeful for change, in the sense of people actually realize what jobs can be done from home, and that completely eliminates having to go out and like spend an hour in like commuting to somewhere where you can literally just stay home and do it. And like work ethic would probably like be higher because people are happier about it, you know, like
I have never been, okay, I will be honest, at the beginning of quarantine I was like, I didn't know how to be productive. I was just like lost in the sauce. And then after like 2 months of getting really like behind and just like, my boss was like, listen, I'm gonna need you to like get it together. And like, it was perfect because my boss, love her, shout out, wonderful woman. She gave me just like the perfect push of like, hey, how can I support you to help you get your work done? and since then I've just been like so productive, like get shit done, and I like stay like working, you know, like my 8 to 5, but like most of my work is done early in the day because it's just like so much easier. Like personally I'm a morning person, so I'm so much more productive early, and I just like get it done, and then I schedule my meetings for like the end of the day. I'm like on Zoom, and it's
chill.
It's wonderful. And I love not having to like get ready. Like I don't live far, like most of the people I work with live really far from work. And they're like, I love not having to commute, and I'm just like, I don't even have a car, so this is great.
And I don't have to like get all gland or whatever. I can stay in my
I don't
PJs.
have to Uber or be like, Mom, can I use the car?
It's like, I'm all for anything that raises the quality of life, you know, for the general public. Like, let's make everything easier. We're here one time. May as well make it like a good time, you know?
Literally, exactly. Like it, and honestly, I think that people look forward to like our little meetings now. Like we have weekly meetings, and people are like, I'm excited to see you. And otherwise it's like, oh God. Not like I'm dreading seeing anyone, but it's just like sometimes you wake up and you're like, I have to go to work. Like, I don't want to. And now I'm just like, it's fine.
Yeah. And it's like, they can still have like the place of work. And like, maybe there's like 1 or 2 days where you can go in if you need to.
Literally we have like my day's Thursday. Like if I want to go into work or I need to like get a package or something of that sort, like I can go in, and it's like, we sanitize and get the whole office tours, because we work in a really small space. It's like a collaborative office. So but I had to tell my student worker that she couldn't come back to the office. I was like, you get to keep your job, but you're working remotely. And I could tell she was like so sad, and I'm just like, it's not safe right now. Like, it's because I really like you. And she was just like, I'm disappointed, but thank you. And I was like,
wouldn't you prefer to be working at home than on a ventilator, miss? Thank
Dude.
you.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to say when I was saying about the lady in Bunnings. Do you know what a Bunnings is?
No.
Yeah, so I was just
thinking, is that a shop? It's a shop,
it's a shop,
right?
yeah. So it's pretty much like, it's called the Bunnings Warehouse, and it's pretty much, it's like Home Depot.
Oh.
So it's like all of that, like, home stuff and
plants and wood.
Yeah, but the reason I had brought it up in the first place was because I was gonna say there was this one lady on the news, and she was like saying how she wishes they would just like ease restrictions because she's walked around Brighton, the suburbs, so many times. And the premier at one of the press conferences was like, you'd be much happier walking the same streets of Brighton than you would be having to breathe through a ventilator now, wouldn't you? And it was just like, fucking yes, that is the whole point. Like, he's not doing this to inconvenience you. He like wants everyone to be safe.
And it baffles me that, like, because when I was breaking my quarantine and like going to dinner, I went to a bar once. I literally felt so guilty. Like, I was having fun, and then I would just be like, oh my God, I feel so awful that I'm just like out right now, and there are people literally dying in hospitals. And so now I'm just like, I go on my walk every morning, and I'm like, this is the shit. Like, I'm down for this, and like no one's getting hurt. I wear my fucking mask. Like, it's good. I will walk my streets 1,000 times. It's great. And it's fun because I like notice we have like, what is it? Like rocks. People have painted like little rocks that are like, it gets better. Like life is good. And just like, it's so cute. And I'm just like, solidarity, guys.
Are you still like near where you were with Maddie? Because you've moved.
No, I've moved. So yeah. I'm back at home with my mama.
Yeah, I thought
honestly, so. Love it. Living rent free and paying off some bills. Blessings. And also I just like forget how much like I just love like my brother and my mom.
Yeah.
That's who lives at my mom's house. And I miss Maddie, I miss Sam, and that house was just so beautiful. And like, it's just different because like obviously you like pay for all your stuff, you like feel so like independent and stuff, but I just feel like safe. Like I think this is where I need to be, like at home with my family, because like I can just focus on my mental health and like my bills, because Lord knows I got a lot of those.
And that'll help with your mental health as well.
It will. Yeah, so it's been really good though. And like this is like my childhood home. Yeah. So it's, at first it was a little grueling. Like I'm not in my like the room that I had when I like moved out years ago. Yeah. Thank God. Because that room just reminds me of my ex-boyfriend, and I like cannot go in there.
You'd be sitting there having like flashbacks.
No, literally, I'm like I literally feel like I can see ghosts. I'm like, I can't go in there.
You're like sleep paralysis monster. It's like
just like no. It's like those memes, and it's like me when I see my sleep paralysis monster, and it's just like yeah. But it's been really good. Like yeah. And also, this is so ridiculous, but like when I lived with the girls, they like don't get as hot as me, so they'd have the AC like 75, 78, 80. No, I'm just kidding, not that high. And at my mom's house, it's at like 70s. Okay, that is like cold. Like it is cool in the house. I don't know what that is in Celsius. It's like,
yeah, that's fine.
It's like I need a blanket in this house, and it's hot as fuck outside. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, you're in, because I think we've said, but you're in like Tucson, Arizona. It's like the desert there. You have cacti everywhere.
Cacti and fucking lizards, and but it's monsoon
beautiful
season,
man.
So it's been rain. A lot of them. Honestly, but they're all taken or they move away. Shout out.
So speaking of monsoon season thing though, I saw this video, and I'm pretty sure it was from Arizona, and it was like this like it was like a flash flood, but it wasn't water, it was like this black, like it was black, it looked like it was like black mud with like, but it was just branches and like dirt and everything, and it was just moving across
like a slide, like a mud slide.
Yeah, it's like a mudslide. I was like,
I have thankfully not experienced one of those, but literally it will be raining and like it's not like heavy rain, it's just like a lot of droplets, if that makes sense. And wind that's literally going like this, like sideways. And you'll be driving, you're like I was driving home today and there was like branches, palm trees flying at me, and I was like, and I didn't have my glasses. I was like, oh my fucking God. And a branch got stuck under, and I'm driving my mother's car. Like, it's not even my vehicle. A branch gets stuck under the fucking car, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And then I pull over to like pull it out, and like soaked, like was outside of the car for maybe 15 seconds, drenched, just like drenched. And then our streets are not like, they're just not made for rain, so they like fill up and they're like rivers, and then there's potholes, and then people get their car stuck, and then people die. It's like crazy.
It's a awful cycle.
It's like, that's Arizona. Yeah, that's Arizona for you. So
is it hot still? Like, so it's hot, like pouring. It's like, is it humidity then? It's
humid like after, but like before it starts to rain, it's just like kind of cloudy and gray, and it's like not, I don't think it's actually cooler, but it feels cooler because the sun is just not like beating on you. Yeah. But I don't mind, like, I like hate being hot, but I also like love our weather. It's really fucking twisted.
Yeah.
But like today it was humid as fuck.
Have you gone, so this is completely random, like so off topic. Have you been to the snow before? Yes. Do you like the snow?
Only what? In Flagstaff, remember?
Oh my God, yes!
You guys, we have been to the snow together.
Oh my God.
But other than that, like, no. I've never seen snow fall.
Damn.
I know, and I really would love to.
Oh, it's beautiful. Honestly.
And I've never been in like powdery. Yeah, I've never been in like powdery snow. I've been in like ice, like it's melting.
One day, you, Maddie, and I should go to like Lake Tahoe, or even just to Colorado. We'll go to what's the place called?
Telluride? No,
it's like
Boulder.
No, not that
Denver.
One. No, it's like the really fancy, like, it's like Aspen. Yes, yes, it's beautiful there. Yes. And we can go skiing. I remember I went because Mum and Dad and I were there. We didn't go skiing, sad, but we were like at the is it called
the lodge?
I feel like I have to double check what it, like I can't check right now. Fuck, it's really not that important. Well, but I'm just
but we should go.
Yeah, we should go there. We were at the bottom of where, like, because you can literally just walk onto the ski lift from like the little village. And I remember we were sitting at a restaurant having lunch and some drinks, and there was a group of guys, and one of them was wearing like an 80s retro looking like full like ski suit thing, like the puffy stuff. It was like fluoro, like it looks like not a high end, I don't know how to say it, but like a high brand like thing. And I was like, I want to look like that. Damn, I need to live here.
Yeah, I have never been skiing. I don't think I'd be very good at it, but I'm down to do it.
Yes. I think skiing's, because I ski, but I haven't tried snowboarding, but I have tried skateboarding, and I was not good at that.
I tried to skateboard for like a little bit. I like bought one, and I thought it was like the cool, and then I literally almost broke my face, and I was like, but I did just buy roller skates, and I am so freaking excited. I broke my butt. I literally broke my butt the other day, like when I fell. But it's worth it. I want to be able to like just dance. Like
I can totally see you like going down the street, just like smooth, like with your earphones on, like rocking, like just sliding. I want that life for you. Can I show you this random thing?
Yes.
Right now? I bought this when I was working and had too much money that I was like, wasting.
Yes.
So I saw this thing by this artist guy. He made holographic skateboards. Isn't this amazing? It's just like
that's the most beautiful piece of deco. I loved it.
I literally don't skate, and there's no wheels on it, but I just have it because I was like,
no, that's beautiful.
In my life, right?
No, that's beautiful. That's aesthetic.
Right. Thank you. I'm literally like, it's I don't think I've actually. This looks so amazing on the.
It looks so
I'm, like, looking at,
beautiful.
like, what the fuck?
You should like put that behind your head and take a selfie. Like,
Yeah.
just like,
Just hanging out, guys.
you're like, oh, this just kicking back.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like how I always hang out.
You're like,
podcast. Just like with it behind my back. One of the best purchases I've ever made.
No, that's beautiful. Honestly, yeah. You have to buy you know what? You can't take money with you when you go.
Exactly. And at the moment, I have no one to leave it behind to. One of the problems I'm having at the moment because of lockdown and like, even our lockdown, like I already have like a bad compulsive buying problem. And it's kind of exacerbated in lockdown because it's nothing to do, but I'm still have money. And I've bought so much stuff. And I'm like, what am I gonna, like, who am I gonna give this to when I die? Like, what the fuck? Someone's gonna be so happy with all this shit.
And it's because there's so many sales.
Yes.
Like, stop sending me email. I look at something once online and they're like, don't forget, we saw that you looked at this, and I'm like,
and our sale ends soon, so you better jump on it.
And then I'm like, I have to buy it.
Did you ever have Afterpay? Do they have that in America?
They do. They fucking do. And I wish they didn't. I swear to God that I set it up so that it's like on my payday, like that the 2 weeks happens. Somehow I literally never have money on the card that gets charged, and they're like, hello, you didn't have the money. And I'm like, no, I swear I do. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I used to use it all the time, and finally, like, it got to a point where I was like, this is kind of getting out of hand. So I like stopped using it. And I remember I like went to the hairdresser, and whenever I would, for some reason, like Afterpay would get brought up.
Yeah.
If I was at the hairdresser, maybe because we're just talking, whatever. And I remember saying I had it once, and this lady then just like went into this whole spiel about how bad it is and everything, and I need to get out of it because of my credit score and all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I just wanted to buy some DVDs and get my hair cut.
It was like on the stupidest shit, like
literally,
because like it's not available on most things in the US.
Yeah.
But on the things it was, I was like, of course I don't want to pay for all of it right now. Like,
it's only I only have to pay $20 now, and just like forget about the $60.
And it was like I always had enough money to just pay for it up front. So I look back and I'm like, why?
It's like, yeah, it's like setting yourself up for like failure.
To
be like, for stress. That's what it is.
Literally. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. But no, I can totally see you as a skater girl down the street. Yes, a roller girl.
Minus the fact that I literally have like wrist pads, elbow pads, knee pads, a helmet. Like I have all the gear because I'm so bad right now. Like I skated for like 15 minutes and I was dying. I was like, I have never been so tired in my life.
It was like a full body thing. Like, there's the wheels, but you gotta keep moving.
And then I kept like falling. Like I would be about to fall. I'd be like, and then boom. And I would just be like.
Have you had any like hard falls yet?
Yes, I literally like I catch myself most of the time. Like I like wobble. But the other day I hit a rock. There was a rock in my path, and it was unavoidable.
Like was it the big one? Just like
no, it was a pebble, and I was like, no. And I was about to fall forward, and then I just like one of my feet picked up, slam on my butt, and the asphalt was so hot, I literally like couldn't get up because it was so... And now I have a nasty bruise, and I'm like, did I break my like butt bone? Like, am I okay? Worth it.
You're like tailbone?
Yeah, like I don't even know, my coccyx or whatever. It's broken. It's done.
Broken. My pelvis is gone. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So that's the summation of what I've been doing.
I love that. What was I watching? I feel like I was watching someone do stand-up. or something. I feel like maybe it was Dave Chappelle.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Or his like 8:47, 8 minutes and 47 seconds, I think. It's his latest one. And it's like, it was, I think, the first comedy show to happen since they cancelled a lot of stuff. And it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure that's where I watched it. So you should check it out, because the 8 minutes and 47 seconds. It's either 47 or 37, but it's the time.
George Floyd, right?
Floyd, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had like talked about that stuff. And so now that I'm remembering, I feel like it might not have been that one. But maybe it was. And now I feel bad. But regardless of whether they're connected, it's really good. You guys should check it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, someone was saying like, what happened with roller skating? Like, seemed like one guy said, "Oh, that looks gay," and then it just like broke down this entire because apparently roller skating was like a huge thing, like, you know, the 4 ones and stuff, and now it just isn't. But it's like so fun.
It's back again now. I keep seeing it on Instagram, and I'm like, yes. Like, we have a roller rink which is still open. It should not be open. It's open. But oh my God, have you heard of the show Normal People?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Oh my God, if you want to be destroyed by love and like realness, you need to watch it. They're like Irish.
Oh yes.
But like the main character is a hottie. Oh my God. But it's like a heartbreaking. But it's called Normal People. It's on Hulu. Highly recommend.
Hulu. Ooh. I wonder.
What'd you say?
No. I wonder if it's on other things.
I don't know, but I just like binged all of it, and I was like,
I remember I watched that Call Me by Your Name movie. Have you seen that? That like broke my soul for like 2 weeks.
I was going through a very rough time emotionally in my love life when that came out on like Rent. And I remember I watched it 4 times. It would finish, and I would just play it again, and I would just.
Oh my goodness!
They did such a good. It is, and so also good. Timothée Chalamet. Like, I love you. I love him. I love you.
And he's a really good actor.
He's. Well. Have you seen Beautiful Boy?
Yes, amazing. So good. He's done so many good projects though.
He is
that
amazing.
One with Steve Carell, amazing. Everyone check it out. Beautiful Boy. He's in one called, I think it's called Hot Summer Nights. Yes.
I've seen almost every movie, and then he's in Lady Bird for like 3 seconds.
And he plays such a douche, but it's like,
it's
like amazing. Yeah, because it's so good.
He's like, I didn't lose my virginity to you, and she's like, what? No, he. I don't know what it is about him. But he is just.
Well, he also seems like a good dude, you know? Like, He genuinely seems like, but like, I mean, from like interviews and shit. And like,
I feel like we get along with him.
Normal person. Yeah, I hope so.
And I think he can like speak French. Like, what?
Yes. His fashion is also amazing as well. I low-key love him. Anyways. Call Me by Your Name. Amazing. And the soundtrack.
And Armie Hammer, like their chemistry on screen was incredible. Like,
literally. But yeah, that one fucked me up. Because I remember I had wanted to see it for so long, and then was like, and then I bought it on DVD and was like, okay, and then was like, it's not the right time, and then I like got to this point where she's like, nope, okay, let's try watch it, and then ruined.
It's like rip your heart out of your fucking chest and then like try to put it back in.
Literally. And the ending, the credit scene, for anyone who hasn't seen it, and this is no spoiler for it really, because, and it's not even like about the ending, it's about everything in between. Thank you. But it's literally just Timothée Chalamet's character sitting in front of a fire crying in silence. The shot is just on his face, and he's just like looking at it, and like he's not even like sobbing crying, it's like slow tears. Like, amazing acting. Like, it was real, it felt real, with this song called Visions of Gideon playing, which is like, oh, it's in the heart. So if you haven't seen it, check it out.
It was, yeah. I'll never look at peaches the same.
Literally. There's also, it was originally a book, and the book is really, really good as well. So if you haven't read the book, you should check that out as well.
That's amazing. I could not imagine reading that. Wow, that would probably be...
And like, because they go in, the way the author wrote it, it's very like, you're in my head sort of thing. And so you're kind of like going along the whole, like, he's thinking it, but also then being like, but no, this is a bad thing. But then being like, oh, but what about this? And like, it's all just like really good. And which is because the movie was amazing. And so it makes it even better that the book is like...
I love that. I love when they don't fuck up the movie. Or when they don't fuck up the book by doing a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Moment of silence for Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. I have to keep that in, please.
Love him. Gonna go stalk his Instagram later.
Fuck yeah. He's also been at all the Black Lives Matter protests too, so he's standing.
Wow, so he's a good person.
Yeah. But then I keep seeing you know how there's always these different waves of like stuff coming out about like actors and everything. I'm just always like, please let him be like the only good one. Like,
yeah, like stay good.
Yeah,
stay good. He's dating someone who's like 10 years older than him.
Daughter.
No, they broke up.
Did they really?
They broke up, and he was like seen. Oh my god, I'm literally talking about tabloids. I can't believe it. But he's like was seen with this like Mexican actress who's like 10 years older than him, and I was like, yeah, Timmy.
Yes, that's the
and he
way
was like,
we like it.
And he's playing the guitar for her. Like they're at the pool, and he's just like, it's like, really? You fucking play the guitar too? Like,
what else? What else can't you do? Speaks French, acts, good fashion, I'm over it.
Loves his mom, like.
Check.
There has to be something. He has to be like, I don't know. He has to have like really bad breath or.
Yeah. You know, I'm fine.
Like a fetish.
Yeah.
It's okay.
A fetish could be fine, depends what it is.
I bet he likes feet.
I was literally thinking feet. I was like, see, my feet are so ticklish. I don't think I could ever let anyone do anything to my feet, regardless of who they are.
Oh my god, I'm gonna pee my pants. I could not. If someone brought up my feet, I would be like, gotta go.
Yeah. Like,
feet freak me out. Like, I'm very thankful for that, to have my feet to walk on and like, you know.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Anything beyond that, I'm not sure. Look, anyone can be into anything they want as long as they're not hurting anyone. Unless it's consensual, then go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it's not consensual, no. Consent is sexy. No children. Children cannot consent.
Yes. Let's not. It's like crazy that has to be said. You know?
Like, are you okay with this? Yes. Yeah. No. That's crazy.
It's like I remember I had a job interview for a photo job at like a school. It was it was just like the school's photographer, and during the interview they like asked me how I would go about making sure like pictures of the girls, just say if it was at a swim meet or or whatever, how I would make sure that they're not inappropriate. And I was like, that's such a like interesting question, because of course you need to be considerate of that, but I didn't even think about that at the same time. It was like I was sort of like taken aback. I would be like, oh well, I would make, I don't like, because it would just seem like
that's like a duh, like that's a given. You would never do that. Yeah,
you wouldn't think of a way that they would look attractive.
Yeah, that's gross.
You know what
They're
I mean?
like 10.
Literally. And so I was just like, this is obviously important to ask, because
that's
for
a problem.
Sure. But I was just like, what?
You're like, one moment, please. I'm disturbed. And they're like, oh, this guy's not a pedo.
Thank God.
Yeah. You never know.
Oh my gosh. It's like, well, there's online, like, obviously there's always heaps of different things coming out in communities and stuff. But even like, it doesn't even have to be like a really popular thing. Like, there's this game called Super Smash Brothers on the Switch, and it's like, I'm sure it's, for people who don't know, it's like Nintendo characters all like fighting against each other. And there's a really big competitive scene where like people legitimately have like jobs where they play that game in competitions and like tournaments and like stream it and all this stuff. So it's like an online community, and at the same time, people probably don't know because it's not important in the bigger schemes, but there's been lots of like beauty community drama online about like sexual predators and stuff. And the same thing was happening in the Smash Brothers gaming community of like people getting outed for like inappropriate not communication, but like asking people who are underage inappropriate things or to do inappropriate things. And it's like, fuck, no matter where, like there's the potential for people to be doing the wrong thing anywhere. Like nowhere safe, which is so fucked. But it's like, but anyways, that's another topic.
Yeah, we're gonna skirt away from the sexual predators.
Yeah,
stranger danger, guys.
Danger. Fuck. Anyways.
Wow. I can't wait to hear what pieces you select.
I'm excited. Well, usually I like don't cut stuff out. I just like cut out either me not making any sense or like not talking or because I try to like, I want there to be some sort of, at least like a thread that's kind of followable as opposed to it just being like chaotic. Yeah. I feel like we've had a pretty good thread. Like it's been a chaotic thread, but like it's like they've all led from into one another. They're related chaos as opposed to unrelated chaos.
The listeners are going to be like, I can't wait to hear it. I'm so excited. I hope I sound like, that's the thing. I always, you know how you just like don't know how you sound?
Yeah.
And then you hear yourself and you're like, that's me.
Mm-hmm. The editing process is the cringiest time for me because I just have to sit there and listen to myself and be like, why do I sound like that? Or like, why did I say that? Or like, oh, then I'll be thinking and then be like, oh, that's not what I meant, and then and then I'm like, oh, that's not what I mean. It's too late. But it's just like, what can you do? It's fine. Well, we've actually been recording for like 2 hours.
No, I literally saw my bedtime reminder went off and I was
no. What time is it where you are?
11:30. And I've been a literal grandma because my mom like lives with her boyfriend, but she comes home to get ready. It's this crazy schedule. Yeah. So I like wake up at 4 a.m. so that I could like have coffee with her and like hang out. So I literally go to bed at like 8, like a literal grandmother.
Yes.
It's so funny.
My sleep schedule's being thrown out of whack so badly. And I keep being like, come on, okay, like try get on top of it. But it just does not work, even the slightest effort.
Yeah, at first I was staying up till like 3 a.m. and then getting up for work at 8. And I was like, this isn't going to work. I can't do this. I'm such an angry bitch if I like don't sleep. Like nobody wants to be around that.
I totally feel you. Especially like here, it's so easy to not have a good sleep because of like the poodles and like the cat. And my nieces like are so loud sometimes. Like I love them, obviously.
Yes, no, of course.
But like I'll be in my marshmallow state, like just so comfy, and then I'll like wake up, and then I struggle really hard getting back to sleep if I get woken up because then my brain's just like going again. I'm like, I can't stop, and then I have to get up. So then that just like ruins the day.
I literally tell people, I'm like, don't ever wake me up. If you want to live to see another day, don't ever wake me up. It's something I'm seriously working on because it's literally so scary to be woken up. Like I will literally, I don't know who that person is when I'm freshly woken up.
Maybe on that note though, I shall let you sleep and we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Ali, for doing this with me.
Thank
oh my
you.
God.
I had a blast. I honestly haven't just been like I feel like I needed to get all that out. I have not socialized like that in probably 6 months.
Yes, I love that. That's a damn.
I can't wait to hear. We need to schedule a FaceTime with Maddie and force her to do it.
Yes.
That bitch.
Yes,
play
we
that
do.
game.
No, but you are seriously the best. Thank you so much for doing this with me. You're amazing, and I love it.
I'm so glad that you do this. Like, that you follow. You're just like wanted to do a podcast, and you actually just like follow through.
Thanks. I'm honestly just a perfect excuse to talk to people about whatever, and like just in a setting where you can just talk about anything. Like and that's like the focus of it. Love that. Because I always say this all the time, but everyone has such interesting things to say and everyone's so different, and I love that. Like, what else is the point of
And there were literally no boundaries either. I was just like, I could say whatever, like we're just going.
Yes. Ali, thank you, you're amazing. Is there anything you want to like plug or tell anyone about or share?
Let's see. Make sure you wear your masks. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, no.
Well, she's not kidding. She's serious.
No, I mean serious. Wear your mask. But also, I would say just thank you for having me. I had an absolute blast. And it's just so good to talk to you. I miss you all the time, and like I'm so thankful we have Zoom. But to the listeners out there, I just want to say, whatever you're going through, whatever stage you're at, like we said, just be there. Just sit with your loneliness if you're lonely, sit with your happiness if you're happy, and I don't know, just be nice to each other. Like, that's literally all we can do right now. So
I love that. All. You're the best. I love you.
You're the best. I love you. I hope you have a good day. It's so weird that it's the day. And I'm gonna brush my teeth because my breath is not good right now.
I hope you have a good sleep. And thank you for listening, everyone. Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, I told you that would be crazy. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you again, Ali, for being on the podcast. If you like the podcast, be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening, YouTube. We have an Instagram as well at The Selfishly Podcast. Thank you again for listening. Thanks, Ali, again. We'll have new episodes every Thursday from more people. Next week's episode is really exciting. It's a big, intense story and it'll be awesome. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you again and bye.